Okay, when it comes to procrastination, it's definitely something that we've all done at one point or another in this life. But for most people, it's something that it's done on an everyday basis or a weekly basis. And for the most part, most people can't figure out why. Why do I procrastinate? What is stopping me from reaching that goal? Why can't I accomplish those things that I set out to do? I have them in my mind and they're in my heart, but for some reason, I keep putting them off. I'll get to them tomorrow, or I'll work on it next week. And years later, we find ourselves saying the same thing. So why do we procrastinate? What is stopping us from reaching those goals? Well, my number one tip, and I'm going to jump right to it, is fear. My number one tip to help us conquer procrastination is getting over fear. Fear is the number one reason why people procrastinate. They are afraid of starting. They are afraid of not being successful. So if you have a goal that you've had for many years and you have not accomplished that goal because you have not started, or maybe you started and then you stopped, and then you started and then you stopped again, there's fear keeping you from reaching or conquering that goal. Think about it. Most successful people, most of the world's successful people, are what we as humans deem as very successful. In order to get to where they have gotten, they had to get over the fear or the thought of, what if I fail? What if I'm not successful? In order to be successful, we've got to stop asking those questions or get rid of those fears in order to taste success, or to define what success looks and feels like for ourselves. But most of us don't get started because we're too afraid of failing. But if you don't try, how do you know if you're going to fail or succeed, right? So procrastination comes in and it says, okay, you need to stop doing this because you may, not that you will, but you may fail. But you won't know unless you try. You won't know unless you start and refuse to quit until you have accomplished that goal. But getting rid of fear, or getting over that fear of failure, or just fear altogether, is the only way you can stop procrastinating and start conquering those goals and dreams that you have set for yourself. So for me, I would call myself a fearless woman. And it's not because I have not been fearful in the past. See, that's the problem. I used to be fearful in the past, and I had all of these ideas going on up here and in here, and yet not accomplishing any of them. Fear of failure. Fear of the what ifs. What if I don't make it? What if I try and it fails? What if this and what if that? All of those excuses that mold together to become fear. But if you work towards getting over your fear, and listen, I know it's easier said than done, but there are ways to get over fear, not necessarily to dump it all together, because there's such things as healthy fears, like not touching a hot stove or walking in a dark alley by yourself, especially if you're a woman. Those are healthy fears, but feeling as though you're going to fail without getting started is not a healthy fear. So for me, I took out my journal and I made two lists. Over here, healthy fears, and over here, unhealthy fears. And then I thought, okay, what are some ways? What are some things that I can do? I can start doing to help me conquer these unhealthy fears over here. And the number one way for me, now we're all different, but the number one way for me was deciding that if I don't try, how do I know? So I had to decide that I'm going to take on that mentality that if I don't try, if I don't think I can make it up here and try, then how am I going to be successful? So I wanted to know. I wanted to see if I could reach the success that I defined for myself years ago. I wanted to see if I can conquer those goals that I wrote down years ago. So don't let fear stop you. Fear will keep you in a stagnant place. Fear will keep you at a job that's abusing and misusing you because you're afraid to step out of your comfort zone or out of familiar territory. Fear will keep us in positions that are detrimental for our well-being because we fear the unknown. But that's where faith comes in too. Faith is not knowing what's going to happen or what's coming next, but believing that whatever is going to happen or whatever comes next is going to be the best thing for you. See, we have to step out on faith. We have to step out into the unknown in order to reach those dreams, in order to stop procrastinating. Because procrastination is the #1 dream killer, along with doubt and, of course, fear. We're fearful, so we procrastinate. But if you can get over your fear, I promise you, you will stop procrastinating. And once you get a taste of, wow, this is all that it took, you may procrastinate here and there, but it won't be such a staple part of your life. So reduce your fear, you reduce your procrastination. Reduce fear, reduce procrastination. When you reduce procrastination, you increase your chances of success, your chances of thriving, your chances of conquering those dreams that you set out to conquer years ago. But yeah, fear is the #1 cause of procrastination. So let's work on that together. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Share this video, hit the like button, leave me a comment. Tell me why or what have you been putting off throughout the years or on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. List one thing that you have been putting off on a weekly basis because you fear failure and therefore procrastinate. I'd love to know. I'd love to read the comments. And once again, I am author and poet Katie Gates, and I'm just so thankful that you're here. You are awesome. You are amazing. There's no doubt about that. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. I love you. Bye.